the very beautiful Shэрon Teitt, I'm sure you've seen in films, and her husband, very talented Roman Polански, best known for his original film, Knife in the Water. She wrote and directed, and he's also responsible for Rosemary's Baby, the picture. And I think maybe a little later we'll get a chance to sit down and talk a little bit about sex and films.
Anytime.
I really enjoyed you in the Valley of the Dolls. You really
I'm glad.
the whole thing in terms of sex and films is interesting, and maybe we'll get a chance to chat about it.
Good.
Pass some food out and play the host.
Bye-bye. Yeah?
Yeah.
Collectors are here.
Jackie the Gale.
Hey, how you doing, Hef? I think you overdressed for the party, but it's a nice party anyway. Some wonderful people. Prince Valiant, it's good to have you here. And a lovely girl. And Don Adams would have used him on the show, but he shouldn't have worn a brown suit. But it looks nice. And, I was thinking about it, being at the party. I remember, I was thinking about the first time we met, I'll never forget, it was in Chicago. It was Lake Mead, and I remember I was out on the water fishing, and you walked past the boat. I don't know, it was kind of a nice day. I remember that. And you had the pipe, and you kept it above water, which I thought was really great.
Good taste.
Yeah, it was good taste. Did you ever think of walking around in the snow and becoming a Hallmark greeting card? Because you're looking nice, and that's really, I'm very happy about this whole thing, I'm not overexcited, but I'm trying to get to the point where I will be. Because so quiet life, I've been traveling a little bit. Coming here, though, I thought if this party would take place in Sweden, how wild it could have been. You could have been here naked, you with the pipe and the boat. Me and my chubby little belly, him with the chair. We got a guy with a beard and send him out for coffee. That would have been nice. I've been having an interesting few weeks. I've been relaxing. I went to a ranch, one of those communal ranches where everybody walks around and naked and they cook health breads for Haight-Ashbury. I went to the ranch. I didn't tell you about that. No, I went to a ranch. There wasn't people. It was past Mill Valley in San Francisco. And everybody was on 4th of July. They came with trucks from the colleges, and they were all big. And this little girl, about 18 years old, beautiful girl, she came over to me with light blue eyes, the Paul Newman kind of eyes, But it was a girl.
Yes.
And she came over to me, and she was really nice, and she told me, this is a place where you'll find love and God, and she was nothing on, and I liked, and love and God, and she didn't know that I was a passionate atheist. I had one of those, it was kind of nice, I enjoyed it. That's why I went into show business. I wanted to meet girls. Because that's why I like Plaiboy, and I worked there. I started to recognize the bunnies by their faces, I got to know them. But I remember when I first started in show I never thought I'd get a delayed laugh. That's different at a party. You get that at a nightclub late in the morning for that party. But I did. I used to get booked in places like Waterbury, Connecticut during the flood period. Places like that. Hef, I used to work towns that were so small, the head of the mafia was a Filipino. And I kind of wanted, something to happen. And we used to get these weekends. We'd meet on Broadway on Wednesday, and we'd talk about the girl singers on the show. Like they say to me, Jackie, who you work with? I say, Judy. 6 fellas would tell me about Judy. She's wild, you only need 2 rooms, she won't leave you alone. And I was always quick. I go, oh yeah, little quickie thing like that. And the 7th week, I got booked and she got another job. And the agent told me to pick up the new girl singer. So I figured I wanted to chip for the gas. I paid the toll on the Parkway, class moves, And I get to the corner, she's waiting with her mother. Her mother looked like an SS trooper, hair in her face and cracked sunglasses. And they both had huge crosses outside their dress. Forget about sex life, at least bats won't attack the car, And that's when I decided I got to Vegas, and I started to work in Vegas, And I got to work at the Tropicana Hotel, and they had the Polly's Pajamas. I figured this is going to be it for me. 200 girls, They come out of the ceiling and they throw balloons. They go, welcome to Paris. We love Paris. We Paris. Then they get back in the dressing room. I'm tired of talking funny like I've been talking. Every one of them's from Alabama. Give me some grits. They all talk like that. Well, did you ever take one of those airlines out of the South? They're all like that. Have you ever taken anything? Did you ever leave your house?
Not well.
Were you once in front of a Pontiac with an Indian feather? I'm talking. But I'm telling you, I was down in Atlanta, Georgia. It's the home of Delta Airlines. You have all that Southern health. You hear those stewardess? You hear that Betty Joan Marianne in the aft cabin? The whole cabin sitting to Joan Betty Jean. Here's your captain, C.W. Henry. And the captains always sound like Andy Griffin. They're always nice. Hi, neighbors. We're going to be cruising around 33,000 feet, and we don't anticipate too much turbulence. You look to left of the field, you're going to see Miami Beach. You look to right, you're going to see Havana, Cuba. And here's your new pilot, Manuel. And they had that new mystery flight, out of Florida now. Nobody knows which one's going to Cuba. It's a lot of fun. The guy with the gun flies free, There's a lot of that going on now. Even in California, Bank of America's been stuck up so many times I got 3 windows down. Checking, savings, and holdups. In fact, they called the guy last week and told him his pictures were ready. It's I like this party. It's okay, Don. Try to stay awake, Don. It's a party. It's good to see you too, Bill. Roman, it's good to kept me out of a few pictures, but we'll get along. I could have been in Rosemary Baby. You know, I prayed for her a lot of times, too. It's a wonderful picture. You're doing a nice job. And we'll get to do some musicals eventually.
Actually, I'm thinking now of a sequel for Rosemary.
What are you going to call it?
Baby of Rosemary.
Baby of Rosemary? Want to cut the goddamn jokes?
Warren Beatty as a baby.
Warren Beatty is the baby. That's very nice. Stay out of my act. Why don't you do Bela Lugosi? You do a hell of a job. See, the Vampire Thursday, you do a musical finish with a cape got my claws. You smoke, Hef. That's great. You're listening. I love it. Light you.
I can do both.
And I know what you're smoking, too. Send out a signal. Tell me if I'm doing good. 2 puffs, 1 if I'm going. But I tell you the truth, I really enjoy being with you, but I have to leave now because I left the girl at the other side of the party. I gotta cut it. I'll see you a little later. All right.
Rosemary's Baby is really one of the most remarkable films of the year, I think. It's the reaction to it, and it's certainly a giant step for you as a director. It has a number of scenes in it that I'm sure, in this country at least, half a dozen years ago, wouldn't have been filmed. Do you think this trend that we see going on now towards more frankness, more boldness related to sex is going to continue?
Well, I think so, at least for some period of time, because within civilization, these things somehow comes back and goes away again.
In cycles?
I mean, yeah, in cycles. I mean, people were walking naked already in different civilizations, which were not very primitive. And I don't think that a few years ago you couldn't see things like that on a screen, but you couldn't walk in the mini dress either. I mean, not so far ago, how many years ago?
I was arrested on a train.
Where?
Going to Italy where we were shooting. And I was in a compartment with the windows closed, you know, and my dress was like to here. I said, if you stop opening the windows and looking, I said, you wouldn't even know I had a short dress on.
It's incredible.
It was 3 years ago, but you were arrested here for wearing bikini on it.
It's hard to realize, as a matter of fact, America was so far behind Europe. I think not until 3 or 4 years ago did the bikini really gain acceptance on public beaches. Now, nudity, I think, is something that in America particularly, we've always had a hang-up about. Sex has become more permissive in films and in books, etc. But really, only in the last year or two has nudity made any real appearance in U.S. films.
Yeah, America.
How does an actress as beautiful as you are, how do you feel about doing nude scenes in a film?
Well, I feel that if it's a real scene, if it's an honest scene, and if it's something where you're stripped naked, that you would be doing naturally, you know, making love, which is natural, taking a bath, you know, that's lovely, you know.
In other words, if it has an authentic
legitimate reason for it, it's beautiful. But if it's contrived, you know, then it becomes vulgar.
I've always had the feeling, to some extent, that the rationale of the legitimacy of nudity in a film is a sort of hangover from the old notion that that nudity needs an excuse. Something contrived in a film, of course, is artificial and poor just because it is contrived. But it's amazing how many real hang-ups in our Puritan society we do have related to sex and to nudity especially.
Well, this is a very Puritan society, you must realize, and that's how it grew up. That's the way it took. But speaking about films and the reasons for nudity, since me personally, I'm interested in rather realistic pattern of the movie, even if I'm telling an absolutely unrealistic story. I avoid nudity for nudity or sex for sex. Yet, in a different kind of picture, I don't have anything against it. Basically, I have nothing against any sex and nudity in any form of art or literature, because I don't think it can make any harm to anybody.
How do you feel about violence in films?
Well, I don't feel that violence can make any harm to anybody either, and I think that this sudden awakening of some of the producer circles in Hollywood, etc., and sudden violence against violence is just the bad feeling that they have about the things which are happening in this society, and they are looking for some little phony excuse. I do not believe that any violence on television or cinema screen can inspire violence. I don't think that I don't believe in the idea monkey see, monkey do, you know.
Many sociologists, as a matter of fact, seem to feel today that scenes in films or TV can actually act as a catharsis, can actually relieve the tensions.
I'm positive. I tell you what I think is really dangerous, and what kind of violence can inspire violence. It's the sterilized, the Hollywood type of violence. I mean, in typical Hollywood Western, they excite you during an hour and a half. They tease you against this bad man who beats everybody, and he's so nasty, and you can't stand him anymore. And in the last moment, the good man with white hat comes and draws and bumps him off without any blood. It's a very clean job, and somehow, subconsciously, from the kid, it develops in your brain idea that when somebody bothers you, you can take judgment upon them, and very easy you can get rid of them without any blood, without convulsions, without vomiting, without... I saw war, I saw violence, I saw all the things that didn't make me more violent. I can't stand blood, I can stand blood in film because I know it's pain, etc. And this is an amusement for me to do violent scenes. But I do not believe that it can inspire violence. Besides, you know, suddenly they say that this is so popular, you know, that film is such a medium that reaches everybody. But violence without our society has an old history. In any Catholic school, you see a man nailed to the cross with blood dripping from his side and from his head. You see the whole when the most popular book, especially in this country, is the Bible. And every second page you have unbelievable descriptions of violence, you know. And so I do not believe that suddenly cinema can make a little bit more.
And nudity as
well. One of the things that's amazed me in the point of view of the censor is the way that so often sex and violence are linked together. It's always seemed to me that violence and hate were on the one extreme as the evils of the world, and that sex and love existed on the other extreme and were the things that make life worthwhile.
This is right. Well, here is one area that I see sometimes harmful for the society. It's connection of violence and sex.
I agree.
No, because I don't believe that the violence itself can inspire violence, but sex certainly does inspire sex. Watching sex on cinema, when you put those two things together, you can.